And let's take a breath and open our eyes. Thank you, everybody. That was beautiful. I'll send this link to you, Elise. Oops, I can't hear you. Sorry, unmute yourself.
Does it have the written words too?
Yes, yes. So you'll have the English transliteration and the Sanskrit, and I'll send you that link.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, so today I wanted to continue with the chakra bija sounds of lum, bum, rum, yum, hum, and then om, and the significance of these sounds and how they can deepen our awareness when we do our chakra meditation. So let's look at them a little closer. Remember, there's a difference between description and prescription. So here we say that the bija sounds prescribed to each chakra are lam, bum, rum, yum, hum, and om. It's not so much that lam describes the Muladhara chakra as much as it is a prescription to open up that energy field of the chakra with the specific vibration of lam. And we're going to go into the qualities that lam encompasses. Now, the qualities of each of these bija chakras are part of the 5 elements that we find in Samkhya philosophy. Samkhya philosophy is one of the Shadarshans, or the classical schools of Indian thought or philosophy. The 5 elements, as we know them, we're familiar: earth, water, fire, air, ether. But where do these elements come from? Well, within Samkhya philosophy, we have the gross form or the physical manifestation of these elements as we know them: earth, water, air. But even a more refined awareness of those elements is the subtle qualities of those elements. Just as your body has this gross physical body, has blood circulating in your body, we have the subtle energetic body, remember, that consists of the koshas, consists of nadis, consists of chakras. So there's also the subtle quality of the 5 elements. Once we understand that there's a gross and a subtle quality or manifestation of these elements, we can look at our meditation practice as a de-evolution in awareness from the gross to the subtle. So in the next slide, I'm going to give you a diagram of Samkhya philosophy and how it views the evolution or the manifestation of the universe. It starts in the subtle realm and gradually gets more and more physical or into the gross manifestation. Our meditation, our chakra meditation, when we're following this spiritual path, whether you want to call it yoga, Tantra, Samkhya, Vedanta, whatever, it's about going back or going inward. So we are going from awareness of what this physical body is, oh, that's sweet, to, that feels so good against your heart,
Sometimes when he's gentle and stays
Okay.
put.
Okay. So we're going inward in our awareness of understanding, basic human anatomy, to understanding the subtleness and going from an intellectual understanding to an intuitive understanding, and then even deeper than that. So that's why we call it a de-evolution in our awareness, because we're going back to the source, which is here inside. That leads us to that chakras are fields of energy. And these fields of energy travel or have qualities going in and out, up and down, from gross to subtle and subtle to gross. And we see this in Tantra. Tantra is basically a mantra practice that has some of its roots in Samkhya philosophy. This relationship shows us what yogic meditation is. Yogic meditation, nowadays we use yogic meditation rather than just saying a yoga practice, because especially in the West, yoga has become just an asana practice. But as students of yoga, as teachers of yoga, we know that yoga means actually the meditation. That is the last three limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Samadhi has many, many different levels, which leads us to the vibration of Om. Om has the gross manifestation of my vocalization right now, and it has a very subtle vibration. It's one of the first manifestations of the Shiva consciousness. And that leads us to Turiya, which is the fourth. And we're going to add if that's a new concept for you. So let's look at, let's see if I can get this. Okay, here is the diagram for Samkhya philosophy. It's similar to Vedanta, but we're not going to get into that right now. That's another talk. So as you can see, we have on the left Purusha. That is pure consciousness. Sometimes that is called Shiva or Brahman. Now, actually, Purusha, Shiva, Brahman, Para Atman, or the Supreme Soul, they all have a little bit of different meanings depending on what philosophical system you're talking about. But for us at this level of our learning, we can just say the pure consciousness or Ishvara. In yoga, from the Sutras of Patanjali, he calls his pure consciousness Ishvara. With equal emphasis, we have or Shakti, or physical manifestation, the universe. How was man manifested? Well, first, from the very subtle realm, we have the buddhi, the ahamkara, which then comes down into the elements as it becomes much more physically manifested. So if you look there under 5 subtle elements, the tanmatras, then as they become more manifested, they become the bhutas or the mahabhutas, which are the gross elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space. So what we're seeing here in a very simplified form is that earth, the manifestation of this world, everything we see, has a subtle element. Like what is the energy behind a clump of dirt or a flower? We know that there's energy in there, right? So what's behind that? Something that we can't see. There is a power that's moving through it. That is the subtle part. And it gets even more subtle because that energy is actually a vibration. We can't see it with our eye, but we know that scientists can measure certain vibrations of a flower growing or photosynthesis taking place. We can't see it. Light, the sunlight from the sun comes down and initiates the photosynthesis of that flower. We can't see it, but we know it's there. So that's subtle. So what we're talking about in meditation is bringing our intellectual and intuitive awareness into more and more subtle realms. How do we do that? With chakra meditation, which is just one avenue. There's other ways. But through chakra meditation, we can see, or we can set up the opportunity to refine our awareness of those vibrations. Now let's look at the vowels, the bija chakras, from an alphabet point of view. So we've got lam, bum, rum, yum. Those are the semi-vowels. Remember, we have the vowels and consonants, right? Set up in the Sanskrit alphabet. Hum is called a sibilant because it's a h or sh sound. The semi-vowels hold the elements and the qualities of the 5 elements that we just discussed. But let's look back at this. Remember that the vowels have a Shiva or pure consciousness quality. The consonants are more Shakti or a manifested physical principle to them. So the semi-vowels in between the consonants and the vowels help bridge and help back and forth between subtle Shiva, gross manifestation Shakti. So they bridge and travel between those two principles, which is what is happening within the chakras too. Because the chakras, as you know, you can meditate, let's say, on the Muladhara chakra for something that's very physical and an issue that's happening in your life right now within this physical universe. It could be finances or a relationship or something to do with your survival, your feelings of security. So that's more of what we call a Shakti principle. But you can also use the meditation and the vibration of Lam at the Muladhara chakra for more of a Shiva type principle, where you're looking at the subtle elements of joy, grounded, being centered. It has nothing to do, well, it has something to do with it, but your emphasis is not on your physical life. It's on moving inward within your spiritual journey. The sibilant H has the quality of prana. And here we're talking about prana in terms of space, expansion, movement, and life. Sound, and this is very important, this is an important concept within Sanskrit. The M sound is called the Anusvara. So in the bija chakras, we have La, and we add the Anusvara to help expand and interiorize the La sound. So the La, which we're going to find out, has specific qualities different from Va or Ra or Ya or Ha. In the Anusvara, not only has the concept of expanding the awareness of that vowel, but then brings it inward too. This is why it's so interesting when you study yoga, is there's a seeming contradiction. When we talk about the Anusvara, the power, the energy there to help dissolve and merge. Dissolve and merge, when we think in just a dualistic term, that doesn't really make sense. How do you dissolve, get rid of something, and yet merge at the same time? But that's what a spiritual journey is all about, isn't it? It's about dissolving our attachments and our identities with the physical universe and merging it with the one universe. Sounds like a contradiction. Same thing, I don't know the Bible that well, but in death there will be life, in life there will be death. You know, you have those different phrases that are contradictory, but when you take your awareness and your consciousness a step back into a more subtle realm, it makes sense. Now the H sound is the Visarga. And this is something that we see in Namaha. It is the Ha sound in Namaha. So let me see if I can write on this. Okay, so to write Namaha, we have the N.
Can
right?
you move right? Can you write more to the left because
Yep.
it's behind your picture?
Yep, sorry. Okay, how about this? So can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so here is N, right? Na. Ma. Now, where does the Ha part? Ha is actually an H sound. That's Ha. But we don't add it. What we do is we put these two dots here. Ha. So this is the Visarga part of the word Namaha. It's nice, like I said before, it's nice to be able to read at least the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, so we don't have to rely on transliterations in our home language. So this is the Ha sound. And now what is the Ha doing? It is giving more energy to the vowel and to the word that we're talking about. Ha represents light, power, vitality. So that is the quality that it is lending to Na and Ma. let's move on. How do we pronounce these semi-vowels? Remember that in the Sanskrit, we pronounce in 5 different areas of the throat in the mouth. So here we see la is a dental sound, so behind the teeth. Va is more of a labial, you know, there's a vibration here. Ra is cerebral, so it's at the top of the palate, more in the middle. Ya is palatal, so that's behind, but not all the way down your throat. Ha, here, it's a sibilant. It's more of a ha or hissing sound with the S's. Now let's look at the subtle qualities. Lam is bliss. It is the quality of creation, of song, of dance. It's happy. It is related to the potential energy. And why do we say potential energy? Because Lam is prescribed to the Muladhara chakra, which is where we have the Kundalini, which rises up. Now, the Kundalini is spiritual energy, but that energy needs to be activated. And the way it is activated is from the top down. So it's activated from, they call it Amrit. It's like a drop of bliss energy has to go all the way down the Sushumna channel, activate the Kundalini, and then rise up through the chakras again, through the Sushumna to the crown chakra. That is what we call that's the spiritual journey. And along the way, it can activate and free up the energy, the fields of energy in all the other chakras as you're going up the chakra chain, up through the spine, so that the prana flows and comes to the central channel and goes up. Vam, and this is interesting, so you can just say Vam. There's so much vibration in Vam. So this chakra, this sound, is about pure vibration. And remember, vibration is the first manifestation of Shiva or Purusha or consciousness in this physical world. That's the first vibration. Va, is connected to the air element, which is also interesting. When we think of air, we also think of pervading all through space. It has the power to create and manifest. Why create and manifest? Because it's pure vibration, and everything comes from a vibration, according to this philosophy. So it can even increase the bliss, that joy, from the Muladhara chakra. Vam, that's the power or the energy of that sound, of that bija sound. Then we come to Ram.
Corinne, can you hear us? I think she froze.
Yeah, I was looking to see if I was frozen. I'm going, I don't see.
Same with me. I thought I was frozen and I was checking my internet.
I'm all green.
You're back, Corinne. Yeah.
I
You're
think
on
she's
mute.
coming back.
Yeah,
That was
perfect.
strange. I don't know. The whole thing just went. We're back.
Yeah.
Yes, we're back.
Let me share screen. Share. All right. So I think we got cut off when I said that it's nice to take a step back from how we look, or we first learned about chakras, that Muladhara is security. Second, Svadhisthana chakra is creation and imagination. Ram, Manipura is self-will and getting things done. So let's take a step back and look at it from a more subtle point of view. So Ram is described as light, fire, energy, color, but also pure delight. So look, we've looked at bliss, joy, pure delight. Then we come to Yum, the Anahata Chakra. This also has the quality of air, where it is pervading, expanding, but now we've added the descriptive word of direction. So once we add that word, direction, we're looking at the vibration of Yum, that energy, as being a motivating force, being a force to apply something because there is direction. And then it's really cool if you look at the words Yama and Niyama from the point of view of direction, application, pervasion. So this is why Sanskrit is so cool, because you can start looking at individual letters and the qualities of the letters or the root words of Sanskrit words and how they are used. And you come up with so many descriptors and so many definitions for one sound. And sometimes they're contradictory, but that's the nature of the philosophy, depending on from what point of view you're looking at that word and where you are in your own spiritual journey, it may have a different meaning. Then we come to hum. Again, it's a sibilant. It is described as prana. It has the quality of the sun. So that means there's force and there's power and there's light. And remember, light is just another physical manifestation of a vibration. Vibration is just energy. How we are conscious and aware and identify with that energy is up to us. Okay, let's look again at more of a descriptor of the elements that each chakra is prescribed from a more physical point of view. This will be familiar. Lam is the earth element. So we learned previously that in the subtle realm, it's more of joy, song, and dance, but it's also the energy of inertia, density, formation, and grace. And the reason why we're going through this again is because as you write your bija sounds, as you meditate upon that chakra and then through the petals, it's nice to have this as part of your meditation, your point of focus. It could be one of these qualities. Vam is associated with water. So that's the energetics of vibration, of flow, of pervasion again. Ram is fire, heat and friction. And this is interesting, the friction part. So Vam was flowing, but Ram has friction. So when we have friction, what are we talking about? We're talking about something that's dualistic. When we talk about ripening, we're talking about change. So we see how the quality of the fire element is very different from water. Yum is the air element. And here it's similar from the subtle because we're talking about motion, direction, but also velocity, motivation. Hum, ether. It is expression. It is expansive. It is diffusive. It pervades all. Again, why are we even talking about this? Because when we are in yogic meditation, we try to have ekagrata or dharana, one point focus. And a lot of the accomplished yogis ask us, okay, you're sitting down for meditation, and it doesn't matter if it's mantra or something called nada yoga, whatever meditation you have, pick one point of focus. So let's say I want to focus on Lam. I will write the word Lam, I would chant Lam. And because it's the way my brain works, intellectually, I'll go through all the different qualities that I know for Muladhara. But then I need to slow down and pick one and stay there and just focus on that one quality. So let's say I'm thinking of the goddess Lalita, which also uses Lam and La is her mantra. Song, dance, beauty, delight. Okay, even within that, I go, okay, Corinne, don't go off in different tangents. Let's just stay right there. And depending on where I am in my awareness, I could just think of the vibration of a song or a dance. Or if I can move a little further back, I might just feel the vibration of one sound. Lum, 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 lum. And when you go, you feel it in your jaw, you feel it in your heart, right? Maybe you feel it in the Muladhara chakra, wherever your awareness is. So you just stay there. And that is an important part in any meditation. But now that we're talking about chakras, stay there in one point, because it's true in anything, but especially in yogic meditation, have faith and just do the work. Have faith. Intellectually and intuitively, we know that we will get to that fourth state beyond samadhi, but we can't describe it with words. We can't imagine it to get there, because to get there, we have to do the work, do the preparation, and then let that all go. You just put it all to the side. Once you get to that point, you put it all to the side so that you can just be, but you need faith for that. And you need to do the work. You just do it. Well, this is pretty much what I just said. So how do we do the work? For some of us, it really depends how your brain works. Understanding Samkhya philosophy, understanding the direction of subtle and gross manifestations, helped me understand more of where my journey was leading. And I'm hoping that it helps you too. So what is the fourth state? What are we talking about? If I can, oops, sorry. All right, the fourth state is here. Annotate. All right, sorry, let me get a different color. Red is here. Anusvara, remember Anusvara? We've been through this before, and I'm sure you've seen it. You know that the different curves of the Om sign represent the different states of awareness. But what's really cool is look at this first one. This, remember, is Ah, or Ah, if you put a double line on it in the alphabet. The first letter of the alphabet, Ah. Ah, it really comes from the chest, the open throat, the soft mouth. It is an expansive sound. So here it is for the symbol. We first have Ah sound. Now, here, this little hook, ooh, because remember, Aum is A-U-M. So A-U, no, the Anusvara. What is the Anusvara? This dot right here. Dissolving and merging. This line here, Maya. What is in our way of mergence, of pure dissolving? Maya, the veil. And here's the Anusvara. The Anusvara, the absolute state, some Vedic scholars call this Turiya. Some call it the fourth state, beyond samadhi. If you remember in the Sutras of Patanjali, there are many levels of samadhi. So once we go beyond that, we can let everything else go, because we've done our work, we've done our preparation, we've gotten out of our own way so that we can experience Turiya. And that's the spiritual path that chakra meditation can lead you to. So let me stop there and ask if you have questions, or if you want to share anything of your experience with your meditation this month, please go ahead.
I just wanted to share that it makes so much sense when we go deeper with the Sanskrit and all the yoga poses and all the words that we use, they become so much more meaningful. And it is a shame that we take the whole Sanskrit out, especially now that it's only commercialized, it's only the asanas. And I feel that part is also very important, of course, the asanas, but when it is put together with the Sanskrit and how deeply we can go to these subtle areas, it makes so much more sense. And it opens so many other doors. It is unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way, Azadeh. Like most of you know, I came to yoga just for a physical practice to do. But then it just opens you up so much more, and you want to know more and more. You want to understand more the subtle underpinnings of your practice. And then, like
And
you
would
said,
you, sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, do you combine the mantra singing also with your asanas, or is it more for you separate it, you just sit and do your meditation more deeply and then go to asanas?
Okay, first let me before I tell you what I do, let me tell you that there is in the very traditional schools, they discourage, and I would even say the word do not allow students to do asana practice with mantra practice at the same time until they are ready, until they've been initiated into it. I have not had that opportunity. So for me, I do use the sounds. I do use mantra when I do my asana practice. Not every time. It sort of depends what I'm going for in that practice. But yes, in one of the files that I gave you, I gave a whole list of asanas that are associated with different chakras. So when you do those asanas, you could, for instance, if it's warrior 2, chant Lum.
Mhm. Yeah.
To have a deeper awareness. Because just think, you're setting up in warrior 2, so you've opened up the nadi channels already, right? Because of the position. And then you add that vibration and that awareness of what it means. And then, especially if you study the Gita, I mean, I cannot do warriors without thinking of Arjuna anymore. It's like, it's just in my head. So yes, so sometimes I do it. Sometimes I prefer to do a chakra meditation like we're doing right now, where I'm writing out the alphabet and things, and then I'll get up and do sun salutations with the mantra that we learned. So I will say, Azadeh, especially because I'm so much older than you, my asana practice is not as vigorous as yours. So I think,
I wouldn't agree.
Oh, yeah.
It's got nothing to do with age.
No, but I mean, in terms of what I physically can do and what I want to do and things like that. But anyway, you have to sort of, you'll find out what works for you. If it resonates with you to have those long mantras in it, or something shorter where you're just doing like the Purusha mantra. That's cool too.
Okay. And I've been meaning to ask about the points that it was 61. I can remember it was starting from here. Does it also have a mantra, or was it just the numbers that we had going all the way to the toes and back?
Yep. I've also been trying to research that too, because I first learned it as numbers. And I remember asking my teacher, and I think they didn't think I was ready to hear the answer because I never got an answer. But then I learned the Purusha mantra and I see the connections, right? The 61 points are close to, is parallels in some points, in some ways, the Purusha mantra. So I have never heard of a mantra with the 61 points. But I do see how the 61 points correspond to different nadis nadi channels, which the Purusha
Okay.
mantra does too. So I don't have
Yeah.
an answer.
The nadi channels are, I read somewhere there were 72,000 channels that we have.
Yes.
And now exactly why is it 61? And that's always been something in my mind. And if it is associated with some mantras, in which part of your practice your guru or the person who was
Okay.
teaching introduced this?
For yoga nidra.
Ah, okay.
So when you think about, let's go back to human anatomy, the formation, the way your brain is. It's I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but it's like the mononuclear man. If you look at the brain and all the lobes, it looks like the face and the limbs of a man in there. And so when you're touching the 61 points, those are some of the nerve plexus that go to in the other points in your brain. So what we're trying to do in the 61 points for Yoga Nidra is 1 point focus. And then if you'll notice, they ask you to just move on, focus here, focus here, focus here, focus here. Move on, move on. What is it doing? You're training your mind. You are connecting with your central nervous system to calm it down. That's how I have learned about the 61 points, mostly as a dharana practice, a 1 point focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. It makes more sense now.
But at the same time, we know that those are, some of them are marma points. Remember, marma is the region that connects with the one nadi or a plexus of nadis. So we're also doing a little acupressure to help open up those channels. The same thing when we are in child's pose. I mean, child's pose is so great when you think about it from a nadi or a marma or Ayurvedic point of view, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got your forehead here on the ground, the different points of the body touching the mat. So another way to look at your asana practice, besides the vibrations of the different mantras that you may want to include, is which marma points are touching the mat, are being engaged, or which nadis are opening up. Like every time we extend our arms, we have the energy from our heart all the way to the tip of our fingers. Remember in the mantra, the Purusha mantra, the last couple letters are Kasham Sham Sam. And then here, okay, that's we're connecting with those nadis through the vibration and just the physical focus.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Really helped.
I don't know. In yoga, it's like there's never really a definitive answer. It's always qualified by something, by something, by something. And I can only say as much as I have experienced in my own awareness, which is why, you know, it's so great. There's with the YouTube and with internet, you can really dive deeper and see what other people say. And I found a lot of contradictions. And for me, and what I want to pass on to you is when you do see contradictions in some of the more details of philosophy or practice, where do you go? What is your answer? It's your practice, your meditation, and it will point you to the right way, because we all have a different consciousness. We all have a different karmic accounting. And so we all have a different awareness and understanding. And one word can mean many different things to 10 different people.
Yes. It also very much helps to exchange and see where you are at your practice and how it has been for you as an experience. So I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Adede. Alice, any questions or comments?
I'm still at that stage where I'm trying to sort through. I feel like I don't have the background on some of this that you guys had prior to starting this. And so I don't know what questions to ask.
I understand exactly what you're saying because we were all there. We were all there. And I read David Frawley's book 5 or 6 times, still didn't get it. I read the Gita. I read the sutras, especially. Oh my God. I read them and didn't get them until I don't know how many years passed. And all of a sudden it starts making sense because you've kept up with your practice, whatever your practice entails, whatever that is, doesn't matter. You've kept up with that. And all of a sudden the words become more familiar because part of it is just the vocabulary, right? Just it's like learning another language, even though we're doing the English translations. So what I say is just keep plugging away, Alice, because if this is your path and this is where you want to go, it will make sense over time. And in the link, I will send you not only the mantra, but I found that David Frawley, I think he's a great author and he's a very accomplished yogi and scholar. And he wrote a book on Sanskrit and Tantra, many different subjects, but I will send you the name of one of his books on Sanskrit, and that may be helpful to you as a beginner. But remember, it took me 5 or 6 readings before I got it. I think you'll be faster. And the beauty of a yoga practice is that it's so cool. We do our practice and we don't really know where we're going, but we do it. And we're getting the benefits, even if we don't know and can intellectualize what those benefits are until 2 years later. So that's some of the beauty of it. Well, for next month, I think it's the PDF file number 5, where we look at the Shakti bija mantras. And this has a special place in our hearts because the Shakti bija mantras, they have a Vedic and Hindu tradition, but they also have a tantric tradition. And we're looking at the Shakti bija mantras from the tantric tradition. So those are special sounds that have different energetics that can also help open up and raise your own vibration in your meditation. So we'll talk about that for next month.
So till the next month, we focus on the PDF number 5.
Yes, I wouldn't say focus, but yeah, let's look at it and
just as a reference.
Yes, yeah. Yep,
Okay.
PDF number 5.
So next session would be in May.
Yeah. Yep.
Is it the 23rd of May?
Let me look, one sec. May, last Sunday is...
Oh, last Sunday would be the 30th then.
The 30th, May 30th.
30th, okay, perfect then,
Okay.
I have it.
Yeah. And also, if we have time, I also wanted to go through now to start going through the petals of the chakras, now that we've gone through a couple months, right? So the emphasis will be on the Vishuddhi Chakra, the vowels. Okay. So it's all 16 vowels of the Sanskrit alphabet. The Vishuddhi Chakra is special in terms of, remember at the very beginning of the session, I talked about the Amrit has to go all the way down to the Kundalini before it can rise up. And so when we're doing some of this mantra chanting with chakras, we start with the Vishuddhi Chakra. And then we bring our awareness down and then back up. So that's why the Vishuddhi Chakra also has a special place to begin with and to begin some of our understanding. All right. So thank you, ladies. Let's close by chanting Om 3 times, followed by Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Come to a quiet place. Just breathe. Inhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a breath in. Shanti, shanti, shanti. And namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you very much, everybody. Alice, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And we'll be chanting. Thank you,
Thank you.
Azadeh. Have a great
Thank you,
month.
Corinne. Thank you, Alice. See you
Okay,
next
and
time then.
remember, if you ever have any questions, just email me as you go through your
Okay.
practice, okay? All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye.